All right, hello YouTube. I do apologize for my hiatus. It has been a few weeks since I put a video out. Life is strange that way. Some of you know I've had some medical issues. My absence was kind of partly related to that and some other things. But anyway, here we are. I do have some videos that are coming up in the near future. Several weeks at least already kind of on deck, ready to record, and we'll get them out. Exciting stuff. Anyway, so I wanted to do a quick video. It's like 9:30 in the evening, and I'm not tired. I'm not really sleepy, so I'm just gonna record this video, kind of make it a September update. Sorry, I'm late kind of video. So anyway, with that, let's go ahead and move on with what I was going to do here. We're just going to look at some comments because I'm getting far more comments than I used to, and I'm not used to it, but also at the same time, I love it. So thank you very much. You guys and gals are just excellent. I appreciate everything. But anyway, let's go ahead and go through some of these a little bit. That might be a little too high, maybe. There we go. Okay, so some of these, as you can tell, I've already replied to a lot of these, but I'm just going to go through and kind of expand on them a little bit. This first one here, ZFalk0, thank you very much for the comment. He said he did exactly what I did in the video, but he did Ubuntu instead of Fedora, and he was still having some problems. This was in a bonus video I put out several weeks ago about how to dual boot Windows 11 and Fedora and still keep BitLocker turned on, so you still have the advantages of the full drive encryption on your Windows partition. Let me lead off by saying that dual booting is not the ideal situation. If you can prevent it, it is probably more helpful. And in fact, I would recommend probably virtualizing in a VM until you're ready to either stay on Windows full-time or migrate to Linux full-time. I think that's a better solution. If you absolutely have to have both operating systems on bare metal, dual booting is about the only way you can do it. But again, it's tricky. It has been for decades. There's a couple things with this right here. As I replied, I said it can be tricky, and also said that Ubuntu and Fedora do handle Grub a little differently, which they do. And also, there's a difference between BIOS and firmware on Dell's versus HP's versus homemade computers versus whatever you might have. The purpose of this channel is to help out brand new Linux users and those looking to move to Linux from Windows for whatever reason. I don't get into the politics, but whatever reason you might have to move over, I'm here to help you do that. However, you have to understand that two systems may be a little different. Even though we're trying to install the same operating system, your hardware might be slightly different than mine, so your mileage will vary. And that's the important thing to keep in mind. I'm showing you step-by-step how I do things. I'm showing you step-by-step what works for me. And if that is helpful, even a little bit, whether it points you down the right path or whether it actually solves a problem for you perfectly, in both instances, that's great. That's what I'm here to do. You just have to keep in mind that since there are variations between setups and operating systems, that you might have to take what I've started here or take parts of what I did and have to build on it, do your own research, and tweak and modify a little bit. That's perfectly okay. I've said it before, and Linux is a personal path. It's a personal endeavor. This project, when you take this on as Linux, it is yours. It's not anybody else's. You can't go to Reddit and expect them to tell you what to do with your Linux path. It's your path. You build it. It's just like your life. It's yours. You decide what you want to do, and let others help you along the way. And that's basically what happens here with Linux. And this is a perfect example of that. Is his dual boot experience wasn't the same as mine. Let's go down a little bit further here. Debian will not let me install Steam. Error package. Steam installer has no installation candidate. This is a canned error message that usually pops up when you try to install an application that's in the repository it may have been a meta package at one point in time and is no longer there, or it's not a defunct package that hasn't been completely deprecated out of the repository yet. So I'm guessing that Edward, is it Lily or Lily? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. In the video, I do not use apt. I do not use the package manager. I actually go directly to steampowered.com and download the package directly from them, which is what I demonstrated in the video, and it worked just fine for me. In fact, I think there was another commenter here that said that they did the same thing, and it worked for them. Apt installer, Steam installer, which is not how the video shows. Okay, but yeah. I don't know if the Steam installer package is broken in the Debian repo. I don't use it. I go, if at all possible, I go directly to the source. Like in some of my videos, I show you how to use actual Mozilla Firefox out of the Firefox repo and not out of the Debian repo. Might as well get the software from the vendor, right? Same thing with Steam there. Thank you for this video. Made my Debian upgrade easy. Robert Shoup. 8181. Thank you for your comment. Actually, I appreciate it. I'm glad that this worked out, and I'm glad it helped you. At this point, I am just going to skip the rest of these. There are, oh my God, there are so many comments in here with you guys thanking me for helping you out, and I absolutely love it. So moving forward, I'm just going to bundle that all into one gracious thank you so very much. I am very happy that I was able to help you even just a little bit. So if I don't mention your name and I kind of skip over you when I go through here, please don't be offended. I can't just repeat it 20, 30, 40 times. All right. I want to use Debian 13, but I can easily install my 4x4 NVMe RAID setup in Fedora without any problems, but I can't do this in Debian. Right. Okay. So here's the thing. Debian can do it just as easily as Fedora does. It just takes a little bit of more tweaking. Fedora might make it easier to set up, but Fedora and Debian can both, in fact, use your 4x4 NVMe RAID. You just have to use MDM and install it. The installation might be a little different. I'm very happy if you can get Fedora to work just fine. I'm not going to go into depth as what 4x4 is or NVMe RAIDs. I'm not going to go into the PCIe bifurcation or channel reallocation and stuff like that, because it's an advanced topic, which is essentially what this 4x4 NVMe RAID would be talking about, is something along the lines of PCIe bifurcation. Again, this is a beginner's channel. I'm not ignoring you. Was that Phenomen? I'm not ignoring you. It's just that I try to focus on the simple stuff for the beginners and the new people that are coming over. I do hope you get that working for you. I like how you take time to explain things. Well, thank you very much. I try. I work in IT for a living. I do hardware support at a MSP. And I've also got 15 years of instructor experience, so I understand how the student mentality works, and I understand, and I've experienced it personally myself, and I'll never forget this, is that when you go to learn something new, it's new to you, especially if it has any kind of complexity to it, there's this like brain fog that you get. It doesn't mean that you're dumb and you can't comprehend what you're reading or learning or watching, but it does make it harder to do so, and sometimes it makes you feel a little dumb. So a good instructor will always slow down, take their time, point things out, explain things 2 or 3 different ways. Maybe one of the different explanations will actually make it click and make it through that fog. And that fog is nothing to fear, but at the same time, it can be a royal pain in the butt. So after you start walking the path, after you start picking things up, and after you start getting comfortable with what you've been learning, that fog will just naturally and slowly lift on its own. And one of these days, you'll wake up and you go, "Oh my God, I understand this now." It'll happen, but I try to use my instructor experience to kind of lay things out for you. I do it step by step. I use an external graphics capture card. That is how I am able, and I use two PCs to do this. So I have my main computer, which is I'm on now, and then I have a Dell Microform Factor Optiplex 7020, yada yada, more tech go babble jargon. But I use that. That's what you see when I record. When I reboot the machine and you see the Dell logo, it's that little bitty Microform Factor. And that's how I'm able to do that on bare metal and still record BIOS settings and reboots and stuff like that, because I don't like how in some instances, and everybody's seen this, step 1, step 2, step 3, yada yada, magic in the middle, okay, now it works. You start out to where you can follow some steps along, but then all of a sudden the channel host or the content creator either doesn't have the ability, doesn't have the equipment or whatever, and the recording of the BIOS and the recording of the reboots are skipped because they're not able to record and reboot at the same time, kind of thing. It's more of a technological setup than anything else. It's not them being lazy or anything like that. But I went out of my way to set this up so I have no skip steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And this is exactly how I go through everything. Everything you see on the screen in all of my videos, with the exception of like the first 3 or 4, those were recorded in virtual machines. But since I got this capture card, every single video has either been on my personal computer, on my regular computer that I record with, or it has been recorded with that capture card. So you see everything I see. There are no skip steps. All right, great stuff. Thank you. Is that Nicrobi? Is that how you pronounce that? Let's see here. Only 2 sections needed in the Deb 822 format. Okay, yeah. On this one here, and this is actually an excellent point. The sudo apt modernize sources, which is the tool that comes with apt, that takes the old version of the way the Debian repo files were formatted, and it converts them into the new format. And it's a relatively new tool, so it's very simplistic. It just does a one-for-one copy. It just moves stuff around, and that's it. And it's essentially where I'm going at here, where it says it's not really a forward-thinking tool, at least not yet. As time goes on, it might gain some complexity. It might cut out some of the redundancy or things like that. But again, thank you for noticing that. Is that Thorpe? Is that how you pronounce that? All right, Unit Night Song. Thank you so much for making these videos. All right, I was following Linux Mint's on guide. Okay, and this is on how to create bootable USB for Linux Mint 22.1. This is an older one. I showed how to do that with persistence. This Balena etcher isn't too bad. It used to be kind of garbage, but over the past couple of years, it's kind of worked its way out, and it's actually okay. It works on Windows, Linux, and Mac, so whichever one you're on or coming to or going to, you can always go and get Balena etcher. It's basically put a thumb drive in, download the ISO, you open Balena etcher, and there's literally 3 steps. Click, 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 and wait, and that's it. And it works. It works well. In this video, I did Rufus because I also showed how to do it on Windows, and I showed how to add persistence to it. Let's see, I'm feeling okay. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking, Bantor5559. So I know you're a subscriber. Yeah, I know. 12 days ago, it's been a thing. Sorry. Appreciate the videos. I appreciate y'all letting me know. Just subscribed. I was able to update Bookworm with Trixie following these videos. I was a little concerned, but was totally successful. Many thanks. And thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I knew this. Is that Maria Pekka 1900? A terminal font zoom shift and control plus, and then control plus minus. Yeah, I did know that. It just didn't dawn on me at the time I made that video, so I just did it the quickest way I can remember off the top of my head. I wonder if there's a 32-bit version. No, there's not. And here's why. Like I stated down here in my comment, 64-bit operating systems have been around for a while. 64-bit chipsets, both AMD and Intel, have been around for more than 20 years now. They were invented like in early 2000s, 2003, 2004. I don't have the exact number right here off the top of my head. I didn't really memorize it. But they've been around for a while. So it's fairly safe to say that if you have a computer that was made in this century, you could probably run a 64-bit operating system on it. There used to be a thing where 32-bit was faster than 64-bit. Maybe that was true a long time ago. I don't know now. I have no 32-bit hardware in this house, and I'm kind of a PC hoarder, so I don't have any. I'm not quite that retro. But with today's modern technologies, and this comes off of, I think this comment came off of, my first Doom video, which I'll get back to those two, which is distros on old metal, if you didn't know that. But anyway, even old metal, the oldest computer I have in the house, shipped with, I think it shipped with Windows 7. I think. And it's plenty fast enough, and it works very well with 64-bit operating systems. So looking for a 32-bit operating system, in general, I would say don't worry about it. Just get the 64-bit, burn it, and boot off of it. If for some reason you do have 32-bit hardware, you boot off a 64-bit thumb drive, it will tell you this won't work. You need a 32-bit operating system. There are some Linux distributions out there that are still offering a 32-bit version. Debian is not one of them. So let's see here. That was right. Everything went smoothly, but the kernel did not update to... okay. So on this one right here, this is on my update from Debian 12 to Debian 13 video. Debian 12 ships with kernel 6.1. And when you go and you do an update, like when you're going from Debian 12 Bookworm to Debian 13 Trixie, if you go through the whole upgrade process and you do not get that new kernel, it's because you skipped a step. And after you update your repositories, in fact, I think I actually cover that in this specific video, this exact video, is after you upgrade your repos from Debian 12 to Debian 13, you do a sudo apt update, and then you do a sudo apt full -upgrade. If you skip that full dash and you just do a sudo apt upgrade, then reboot, you're not getting the new kernel. You'll have to go back, and it's recoverable. It's real easy to recover. Just if you find that happened to you, open your terminal back up, sudo apt full -upgrade, hit enter, and it'll replace like 1,500 packages, reboot, and you should have the new kernel after that. Just subscribed. Everything's on point. Straight cut, no bullshit. Awesome. Thank you. Video a little quiet. Yeah, every once in a while that happens. I don't understand how that happens. I'm not really a loud talker to begin with, but I usually crank the volume up a bit because I know that. And part of my health problems has to do with my throat. So I can't yell or anything like that. And I have the microphone currently about 4 inches from my face. I don't know why this happens. Miss Nikita, you're not the first person that has noticed this, and it's like peppered throughout my entire channel. I've got like 50 some odd videos, and it's like once a month or so, somebody will say the volume was too low. I do apologize for that. I don't know exactly what's causing it, and it's usually only one person that says something about it. Nobody else does. So it's really kind of hard to troubleshoot, but I do apologize at any rate. I upgraded to Trixie. Do I need to reinstall the NVIDIA drivers? No, not if you install the drivers from the repository. If you are upgrading and you do a sudo apt, if you did a sudo apt install NVIDIA-driver, you pulled those drivers out of the repository. Of course, you have to enable the non-free repo first before you do that. But if you install the drivers from the repository, you do not need to reinstall the driver. That driver will be upgraded just like all the other packages to the latest version in the Trixie repo. What about Debian i3WM? Yeah, sure. So i3WM, if you don't know, is kind of a really lightweight kind of window manager. It's not a full-grown DE which is a desktop environment. It is it's really interesting. It is a tiling window manager, so you don't have a whole bunch of overhead as far as loading a bunch of other applications, but at the same time, it's more of an advanced thing. And like I said, the purpose of this channel is to keep things simple for new users. So while Debian plus i3 works amazingly well in Debian, it's multi-step process. It can get kind of complex real quick, especially for users that are just coming over from Windows and don't know exactly where they're going in the first place. So I try to skip that and stay away from it. But yeah, anyway. So nice channel, bookmarked, hope you grow, subscribe. Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. Liked it, thank you. So happy I found you. Yep. How do you install the NVIDIA driver? Okay, so let's look at this real quick, and because this is also a good question, and it works on 13 as well. So what you want to do here, can I not make that a little bit bigger? No, it's going the wrong way now. Okay. All right, so sorry about that. So what you want to do is you want to edit your sources file. And when you get in there, you want to change your components that currently say main non-free firmware and add the non-free behind it. Then you want to add the i386 repo, or the architecture, if you are going to use 32-bit drivers and firmware and stuff. This is especially true if you're going to do like any kind of gaming, like if you're going to install Steam or Proton or whatever. If you are not going to do any kind of gaming, you don't have any need for any type of 32-bit libraries, you can actually skip that highlighted line. That's fine. That's just for those that want to do some gaming. Then you do a sudo apt update, and then you want to paste this line right here. And as I've always said, you don't just copy and paste anything off the internet unless you know what it's doing. So on here, it is a sudo apt install, and then we're installing the NVIDIA driver version 3 of 535. That has probably changed since then. You'll just do a sudo apt install NVIDIA-driver, and then put a dash and hit tab a couple times, and it will tell you what the latest version of that is. And you just install the latest version, whether it's 535 or 550 or 60 or whatever. And then you also want to load in libvulkan. Don't forget that i386 if you did this line here. If you skip this line, because you only need the 64-bit, you can skip this last package, because it's just the 32-bit version of the libvulkan library. After you do that, then go ahead and reboot, and you should be golden. Started with bookmark as a Trixie thinks would help. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's going to do it for all of the comments. And I really appreciate y'all. I do apologize. It's been a while since I put out a video. I'm still here. Nothing's happened to me. Just had a lot of things on my plate. I do have some more things that are coming up, so stay tuned for that. If you like these videos, make sure you click like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. I promise.